Very well, so we are continuing making real good progress here. Let's go and see how can we move this button at least to be aligned with the text, because this just looks a little bit out of place. Now there's different ways to do this. The first one is we know that this is inside or is wrapped inside of an align widget, which then we set its alignment to center left. That's why it's center to the left. You could say center right like this. Let's see what's going to happen. Should be to the right. And it's over there, which looks great, but let's see if we want to just align it correctly, just like what we have here. How do we do that? Well, inside of here, right, we can wrap the button even further with something else. In this case, I'm going to wrap it with another padding as such. In fact, let's just make our lives much easier. And instead of going all the way, just say command period and add a padding like this. So I have more control of how I want to align this button here. Okay, so in this case, instead of all, I'm going to use symmetric. So I'm going to say symmetric as such. So this will allow me to do certain things, such as horizontally, I want this to be aligned by, let's say, 100. And vertically, for both sides, of course, top and bottom, I want this to be about 60. So save this. Let's see what's going to happen. And voila, you can see it looks way nicer, and we can change the horizontal for a little bit to the left if we wanted to do so. Let's say 95, see if that helps. Let's say 75 to really pull it to the left. All right, so this is looking really nice. The next thing we need to do is to add this floating buttons here, row of buttons. Before we do that, let's go ahead and move our body somewhere else. So go ahead and fold this class body here. That way we can just refactor all of this. So cut that. And let's go to in our widgets, Command Shift Control Shift P. And let's create a new file. Call this body.dart and paste all of that in. Let's forget to say command period and import flatter material like that. And of course here we'll have to make sure that we also import body. Okay, save this. You'll notice that everything should still work the same. Oops, looks like we're having an issue here. Let's go back to body. I think we have to import this contact as well. Okay, contact button that is. And we should see that nothing really has changed, which is always a good thing because nothing will break, hopefully. And there you have it. So things are still good, but at least we know that we have refactored everything. Let's clear all of that and get rid of that for now. And this as well. Okay, so back to our main screen here. Notice how small our portfolio is because we are invoking or breaking our code down so that we don't have too many things in one file. All right. To add these floating buttons here, we need to create a different entity or different class or widget that will contain all of these buttons. And remember that we will be adding on top of this main, if you go back to our main screen, it's going to be on top of this stack that we have here. Because we have our body, which is this, all of this, right? This row that we created, so essentially all of this. And now we're going to add something else on top of our stack. So in this case here, if you notice, I can say something like this, text hello, okay, and save this because it's inside of this stack. It should be somewhere on top of the image. And there it is over there, not where we want it to be, but that's totally fine. All right, let's remove that because that's not needed. So what we're going to add actually is going to be a class, a stateless widget that we're going to be creating in a second here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say row because this will be a row containing these buttons there. Okay, so we're going to construct it. So this row will have children that we need to pass. First, we're going to go ahead and create a container as such. In this container, we also have child node there. And I'm going to pass another row inside of that. Okay, another children, and this is where we're going to add everything. Now, this container here, we can add a color to this container. So for instance, let's see if I look at inside of here, I can say color. So this is the inside container. So see, I can say color, and there's different ways to instantiate a color. So in this case here, I'm going to instantiate an hex color. To get an hex color, you pass the hex value appended with OX to the hex color. So I can say 0x like this, FFF, BEFD 9 like this. So I know these numbers. Let's see. I know this color of what it's going to look like. And next, for our row, we need to give it some sort of a size. So I'm going to say main axis size. I want this to be main size. Say main axis size. I want this to be minimum size. And the next thing I want this to be is I'm going to say main axis alignment. I'm going to say it's main axis alignment like this. And I want space around. Okay, so to give space around all of the items that are going to be distributed in this row. Okay, so inside then, so this is where we're going to add all of these nice icons. So what do we do? Well, first of all, I'm going to create a text button icon like this. And for now, on pressed, it's going to be nothing. So I'm going to return nothing, okay, an empty one. And for icon, I'm going to pass an image.assets like this. And I'm going to say assets / images / social / facebook.png like that. I'm going to also go ahead, let's say save to format everything. And I'm also going to give width of about 15 and height of also about 15. So make this very small. And we need to pass a label here. For the label, I'm going to say text and just have it empty as such. All right, let's save this real quick. And there you have it. Not what we expecting, but at least you can see we have this nice background color that we added. So we created this container and we added this color, and inside of this container we have the row. This is where we're going to add all these buttons side by side. Okay, so it's going to be something like this. Okay, so it's working nice. Very good. So we have to do the same thing. Now, the reason why I added label and empty text, because we don't need to add an actual text. And unfortunately, you cannot say something like this null. Flutter doesn't seem to like, right, it doesn't like it, as you see, because we have to pass something. So it's okay, just pass text and an empty string like that. So that should solve that problem. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing to get other buttons. So I'm going to copy all of these, or just this one, and paste a couple times. All right, so this second one is going to be Instagram, and the last one is going to be Twitter. As such, let's save and see. Very nice. So we have all of them over there. The wrong place, but at least they're showing. All right, so this is looking really good. So what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and extract this as a way of formatting our code. So I'm going to say command period and extract widget. And what name we're going to give to this widget, it's going to be button row like that. And voila, you can see now it extracted everything out here. So furthermore, I'm going to fold this and then click shift or control. So click shift and then up arrow. I'm going to select everything and cut all of that. And what we're going to do inside of widgets there, make sure command or control shift P. We're going to create a new file. Call this button row.dart. And we're going to paste all that code. Make sure to import material. Should be good. Of course, go back and make sure that we import button row. Save everything. We should still see, hopefully, that our row is still there. Okay, it's still there, but the idea is that we want this to be about here. So how do we do that? Well, we are going to wrap it with another widget. So click like this, and this is going to be the align widget as such. And now this will give us the alignment property, which we can use to say alignment. Top right, that's not what we want. We want bottom left like this. So save this. And you can see now that we have our buttons at the bottom here. So we want to make it to at least be somewhere around here. Well, easily I can wrap it again. So click on the button row and keep wrapping here. I'm going to wrap it inside of a padding. In fact, because padding is visible right away to us, I'm going to just go ahead and choose it. And I'm going to give about 48, so 48 for edge insets. There we go, looking way better. And to do even better, I'm going to wrap that inside of a size box. So I can go back and say size box like this, and I'm going to give a size, right? Say height of about 59 like this. Okay, so it makes it a little bit smaller and I can adjust that size. So this looks way nicer and very close to what we have here, right? And remember, this is smaller because this is at 100% or 90% now, but 100% zoom, and this is at 125. So it doesn't matter, but you can see it's looking really good. Very similar to what we have here. All right, congratulations. I know we're going a little bit slow, but I want you to get this, and do take the time to stop and think about what we're doing here. Okay, if something's not making a lot of sense, please do ask questions, but also rewatch these videos so that you understand what's happening here. But it's pretty straightforward, and I hope you get excited and enjoying this course. All right, so we're getting close, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we are going to look at this right side where we're going to add all of the projects. I'll see you in a bit.